This is the local and national news from Fabulous 103 FM, and it would be fabulous if you subscribed. It's easy. Click the subscribe button, and at the same time, click the like button too. Over a region covering 11 provinces, locals have been advised to expect river overflows along the Chao Phraya river basin from the weekend onwards. Despite reservoir management restricting the flow of water from dams so far, Sunday will see their hands forced as levels rise. Ayutthaya, for example, is predicted to see levels rise by over half a metre. And in other regions, in Nakhon Phanom, locals are being warned that the Mekong River, long suffering from low water levels, is expected to see overflow, with residents living close to the riverbanks advised to move to higher ground. Will we see another mass flooding as we did in 2011? Well, it's all down to water management and, of course, the luck of weather. Reservoirs are traditionally kept at high content levels to see the country through the dry season in the next year. But with the continued monsoons of this year, they simply can't contain the amount of water flowing in from rivers and streams. Cities such as the capital and Ayutthaya have made improvements to riverbanks and walls over the past 11 years. Those, though, could be put to the test as the storms are expected to continue. It all started with a maid complaining to police about physical abuse by her police corporal employer. Now, well, her story's dominating much of the Thai media, seeing authorities launching an inquiry into just how the former girlfriend of a senator got her job in the police force, despite being over the maximum age for recruitment, and was subsequently promoted, yet appears to have never actually worked. The senator has admitted a relationship with the woman which ended years ago. He was at the time divorced, so fully entitled to date, but has long since lost contact with the woman. But it's highly likely that there's a lot more to the story, and at some point she's likely to break her silence. Meanwhile, others are being questioned about the recruitment of the maid, who for a short while was listed as being in the Thai military. Daruma Sushi was a start-up company back in 2016, expanding to 27 branches around the capital. June this year saw the company flop and fold and the owner flee to the US before returning to face charges here in Thailand. 1,000 complaints are being registered with the police, who yesterday reported the case to the public prosecutor. Charges against the owner include fraud, computer crimes, money laundering and false advertising, said to have reaped him some 70 million baht. On Samui, a British tourist said to be a resident of Pattaya died after riding on the back of a motorbike driven by his pal at 1 a.m, with CCTV clearly showing the two stopped at an intersection corner and a garbage truck taking the corner too tightly, crushing them in the process. The truck driver told police he wasn't entirely sure how the accident occurred, but CCTV, we're told, was fully operational at the scene, and having been checked makes it entirely clear how the accident occurred. Meanwhile, at home and in Chonburi, the Office of the Private Education Commission is to investigate just how a 7-year-old schoolgirl was left in a locked school bus throughout a hot day, resulting in her death, how the driver didn't notice her still in the minivan when he arrived at the school, and why the school didn't notice her absence. As the parents of the Chonburi school student demand a second, more extensive post-mortem examination, reports indicate that the child was found by a teacher who went to the van to use it to take children home after a school day. By then, sadly, she'd died. Thai media reports that a teacher was in the minivan during the pick-up and collection of children. Other students told that they assumed she was asleep and left her to sleep. That, though, is hardly the responsibility of fellow children, and a full report is expected by the start of next week. The school has admitted negligence and is reported as offering the parents compensation for their loss. However, compensation here in Thailand is notoriously low. They have, however, received condolences from the Education Minister, who promised that no stone would remain unturned in the investigation. The poorest of safety near Bangsaray Beach saw a 3-year-old electrocuted but survive after simply touching a decorative chain barrier around a memorial close to the beach side. Photographs show clearly that mains electricity cables to either lighting or camera were worn out and spliced, leaving bare twisted wire connections that likely came into contact with the chain. The youngster is fully recovered. However, when a local municipal director was called to the scene, he ordered workers to make proper repair, promising to fully compensate the child's parents for all costs. Just east of the city along the 331 is the blooming former village of Bovin. Years ago, just a few shops, a bank and a car dealer. Now, a massive township with a huge factory population and new roads. Yesterday there, the new roads and drains were put to the test as flooding from storms saw houses, shops and a market flooded out completely and water on the main highways waist deep. When a local group of Chonburi youngsters entered the World Hip Hop Junior and Adult Dance Championships in America, they had a dream to win. And they did just that. 3 gold medals for the team as they beat 45 other teams from around the world in their first foray into the international competition since the outbreak of COVID. Winners for sure. And with the Met Office promising temperatures in the shade, highs of 31 dropping down to 25, with a continuation of recent storms popping up throughout the day and the weekend. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme, like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below.